everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I will be showing you how to make this hello card. Stay tuned. Alright, to start the card, first we're going to need to create a background. I'm going to go in with a lighter orange at first. Then now I'm going to go in with a darker orange. This is like a more reddish orange just to create that gradient effect for the backdrop. Okay, these are the tools that you will need in order to trace out the image for this card. So first what I'll do is I'll grab my book, and inside my book I have these stencils. I grab the stencils, I put it on top of my bright pad. I first find basically which image that I want to be on my card first. So once I figure that out, what I'll do is I'll put the cardstock on top of it, and then I'll turn the bright pad on and I'll start tracing the image where I want. One of the things I also do is I tape the cardstock to the tracing paper itself so that it stabilizes so my image doesn't move all over the place. So I keep going with my image, I keep tracing, and then once in a while what I'll do is I will actually have to turn off the bright pad, one, just to give my eyes a rest, and also just to see if there's any imperfections that I don't like. So for example, that part, I erase it. I wanted to add further detail because in the drawing they didn't make that a bud, so I drew in the bud. And also notice how the stem isn't connected, so then I went back in and I connected the stem. So, and then also if you wanted to add additional details to your paint, and this is where the customization comes in, you can do the exact same process, but you can twist the paper around, put the stem where you want it to be. In this case, I'd added additional leaves. See how I don't know how to draw? I didn't have to draw, but look how nice that image looked. It's kind of like a personalized image that you drew, but not really. You know what I mean? All right, so we're getting to this next process where I will show you how I go about coloring these images. So one of the first thing I do is I figure out what color I want to use. Then I went through my whole stack of markers and I find all the different gradient in that color group. So for example, if it's green, different shades of green. If it's pink, different shades of pink. I also wanted to add like a yellow center to these flowers just to give it a little bit more of a pop. So then I use these three different colors here. It's like a light orange, dark orange is like, light yellow, dark yellow, and like an orangey color. So then I wanted to use brown for the stem just to make it pop out a little bit more. So usually how I color is I always start with coloring the entire area the light color. Then I go in with the dark color just to basically trace out the area that I want to pop out a little bit more. Then what I do after that is I go in with the lighter shade again and basically blend. So the area that I like how it looks, I leave it alone. The area that I think is too dark, I blend until it kind of erases itself away. So as you can see here, that's pretty much how it works. And I apply this techniques to every single thing that I do. So you see here, I did it for the stem, I did it for the leaves, and I also did it for the flower. So when you first put in the darker color after you put in the lighter color, it kind of freaks you out. You're like, oh my word, I just messed up my entire thing. Not really. As you can see here, see how by the time I blended, most of it disappeared, but it kind of like pops out a little bit better than, if you were just to color one color. Once you are done with coloring your card, you put it on top of a foam piece, and then using your Smoochie's die cut, you're going to draw in that pattern, and that's basically your guide on how to punch the holes. You put it on top of the area where you want the flower to be, and then you use a needle, and then you can punch in the holes using the needles, as shown right there. Now, if you don't have the Smoochie's die cut, you can also just use the pen and freehand it. So what you want to do is punch out 4 holes like so. Then right above it, you want to punch 2 holes as demonstrated here. Then to the right of it, you do the same. Then to the bottom of it, you do the same. Then to the left of it, you do the same. And pretty much you'll have the exact same pattern. Now that you have your holes punched in, let's review the techniques needed to make the pop-up sequin flowers. Using a bead needle and the thread of choice, run through one of the outer holes as shown. Now that you've ran the needle and the thread through the card, I'm going to show you the sequence loading part. You'll need size 6 and size 10 cupped round sequins. Now, load 2 size 6 sequins first, with one facing upward and one facing downward. Then load 1 size 10 sequins facing upward. Then 1 size 6 sequins facing downward, and then 2 small beads. If you just follow this picture, pretty much that's gonna be your sequence pattern. Now run this entire set through the hole as shown here. All right, now the technique is over. Let's get to it. All right, so I use a beaded needle. You see how I can open up the needle in the middle, and then I just slide in my thread. Then I run through my thread through the hole that I showed you earlier, and then I tape the end of the thread so it doesn't move anywhere. All right, now that we're nice and secure, let's load up our sequins and beads like I showed you earlier. Okay, I'm going to load up my beads, and then I'm going to run it through that hole that I showed you guys earlier as well. All right, we're just going to fix our sequin and beads a little to make sure it's standing up just the way that we want it to. And then we're going to run the needle right back to the adjacent outer hole. As shown here, I color coded them to show you which outer hole needs to go to which inner holes. For every inner hole, there's always 2 outer holes that needs to go back into it, as shown here. So repeat this process until you're done. I also wanted to note that when threading the sets through, each set needs to overlay the next, kind of like what I'm showing you right now, so that you'll eventually end up with a flower shape. All right, so one of the die cut that I got from my monthly Hero Arts kit was this Hello die cut. So basically I ran it through the die cut several times, and then I just took like about 3 or 4 layers of them, and I glue it on top of each other just to give it that like pop-up effect. Then in the back of my card, I put in these double-sided tape just so I can tape it to the actual card itself. Here's the thing. You see the back of the card? You'll notice that I have a bunch of blue tapes in the back. So every single time that I finish doing a French knot, or that I finish making my flowers, I always put a tape in the back of it just so I can seal everything in so the thread doesn't move anywhere. All right, so more of the peeling of the tape before I actually take it and glue it onto the base of my card, and voila. Once I was done with the card, I realized that it needed some shimmer because, you know, I'm a girl of glitter, so I love some pizzazz. Anywhoods, in the previous video, I showed you guys how to make a dupe for the Wink of Stella. So basically, I took that dupe mixture and I colored it on top of my image, and that's why you're seeing that twinkling effect on my card. I really enjoy making this card. I hope you guys will as well. If your attempts were successful, unsuccessful, let me know what were your setbacks in the comment down below, and I'll try my best to help you if I can give you any other advices, okay? Thank you for watching my video. See you next Thursday. Bye-bye.